Black power.
Brother Sankofa, how you been, big brother?
Ah man, brother Sankofa, I feel magnanimous. My neurons are feeling electrified, meaning I'm sharpening my mind by the day. And you know, it's August. We out here in Times Square, okay? Black August, and you know, I feel elated in light of all the different social unrest and as a result of the injustices that you see affecting our people on a large scale out here in this country. Reason why I feel elated is because in light of all the madness, I'm still able to balance my equilibrium because I know that there is a better and brighter day for the people, for the masses. Right knowledge is the foundation, right knowledge and true knowledge and the application of it is the answer, okay? So brother Sankofa is feeling good. I'm in the company of other intelligent, conscious brothers. My brother Malik right here, okay? We got Sankofa, and we got people standing up on the front line. Now, I wouldn't feel as elated as I do if there was nobody standing on the front line. If there was no light at all. Even though the light is not broad, the light still shines. If you're in a dark room or a dark building and there's only one candle, that one candle's light will illuminate so much. And that one candle is more important in the midst of the darkness, the same way an enlightened black man or black woman in the age of darkness and ignorance, where people are destitute of light, that light shines more potent and more bright and more luminous in the midst of the ignorance that you see blatantly in the midst of our people and all people in general, you know? So I'm here with Baba TV. I want to shout out Big Brother Baba, who's doing his thing on the front line. Journalism is very important because if you understand that media or propaganda is a very important tool. We're not using propaganda here, but if we was, it's proper propaganda. Because what we're doing is we're utilizing technology and the ability to catch sound, image, okay, to project that to the people, which can stimulate and provoke thought, which can make people want to become more prolific thinkers, analyze the world and society in which they live in, and want to make a change. Yes, knowledge is the foundation and the blueprint to our true liberation, okay? And once again, shout out to Baba TV, House of Consciousness. Shout out to Brother Sarnetta, House of Consciousness. Shout out to New Covenant. Shout out to all the brothers, sisters that are on the front line fighting for this cause, because we know that we are in some trying times as a people. I don't need to preach to the flock in order to denote that. However, I do need to call the reminders that we are in a war, socio-political, economically, culturally, and definitely, and most importantly, spiritually. Because the spiritual shackles that are on, or the mental shackles that are on the minds of our people is what keeps us from fighting on all the other levels, that is socio-political, economic, and cultural. Because once your enemy is in the image and likeness of the God that you praise, you are less likely and more to fight against that opposition and more susceptible to be a willing slave to that. We come here to break those shackles. We come here to raise the frequency through giving knowledge, not any kind of knowledge, because you learn knowledge when you watch TV. Shit, you can learn knowledge from watching Archie Bunker, meaning you're knowing, you're learning, you're picking up on things, okay? We're giving a knowledge that is a liberating knowledge, a tool or a dynamic to uplift us from the mental tombs that we are in, to resurrect us from the mental graves that we are in. And this is very important in these trying times where our people are dying, okay? And we always have been, but it's blatantly in your face now. It's blatantly in your face now. There was no, and what I mean by that is, there was in your face in the 60s, 70s, and before that, 50s even more so. The cracker was a cracker then, the cracker is a cracker today, the cracker will be a cracker goddamn tomorrow, and hopefully after that, the cracker doesn't exist. We'll talk about that another time though. But the difference is, because we're in a capitalist system and corporations and businesses control and dictate policy, which in turn trickles down to the common blue-collar person, because we have something called plutocracy. Money is exchanged on Congress floors, which makes certain kind of laws and legislations work in favor of those who are the elite and those who are in power, the power brokers who are at the top echelons of society, who take justice, freedom, and civil liberties from the lower person. That is black and white. The difference is nowadays is the psychological dynamic, or the captivating factors that enslave our people mentally, to the point where, yes, it happened in the 60s, it happened in the 70s, and prior to that, in the 80s. Our people don't even consider, don't stand up, or don't want to collectively fight against these social injustices the way, or even consider them the way that we knew that they once existed back then. We were at least conscious of the fact that we had a blatant enemy. Even in our Christianity in the 60s, and in the 40s, and the 50s, and in the 70s, we seen there was a need of racial pride and racial integrity, a fight for against injustice, for the self-preservation of our people. Excuse me, we don't want no crackers in our video. Step off. And I get that from the Israelite schooling. So some things that I got from them, and it should be in every black man, if you was to enter the school or not, if you're conscious, you should have that attitude. But we're not going to let that be a distraction. At least at that time, we knew that there was, they said, if the white man said smack, they said ouch, but at least they responded with the ouch and knew what their ouch was against. They knew who was smacking them and why and what they needed to fight against. Most of them, for the most part, okay? And that, in that time, created a social dynamic where, because we're all not the same as far as our perspectives, our class and our status, or our way of looking at things, the ouch, smack, ouch perspective in turn caused a revolution where people said, no, we're going to stand up. Stokely Carmichael, many other revolutionaries, Sonny Carson, okay, many other, Huey Newton, okay, many other, what's the brother that started the DOD, the Deacons of Defense? What's his name again? The brother, you know who I'm talking about, right? He had the original pen. Brothers like him, okay, who started in response to...
Original Panther Party?
No, there wasn't the original Panther Party. Peace, black man, how you doing? Frederick R. Williams, okay, who started the Deacons of Defense, okay, who original symbol was the panther, because the panther, even going back to Egypt, represent a protector of the Nile, which is the goddess Bast or Bastet. A panther is a feline animal that responds to danger or responds to an imminent threat opposed to it. So even though you had the Christian movement, or you had different movements in the 60s and 70s and all that, and we're not going to stay in the past too long, I'm leading up to the point. You know, the brothers long-winded, as they call me, but the long-winded with the point at the end of the string, okay, not a noose at the end of it, okay, well, which some of you niggas give in your distorted teachings that are not liberation theology that's going to help our people, okay. So you have brothers like him, brothers like other people, in response to the Christian concept and idea of that we still had to fight against injustice, because they knew that it existed, and they stood together. There was a uniformity, there was a camaraderie, there was a unifying premise. You also had people that wanted to stand up and more militant to fight against injustice, okay? These were very intelligent, articulate people. These were people that started at the grassroots levels, and many of them started in academia and the college campuses, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this now, is somebody said, we already know that, Sankofa. What's the point of you reiterating that which we can watch a documentary on and see? It's because a lot of us don't know that. And you can tell we don't know that because it's imminent that we don't show that, okay? A lot of our people are lost and have lost touch with that. that happened for a reason, and we should be in touch and in tune, and or at least aware of that which took place. Because the things that we're seeing now, okay, there's nothing new under the sun. We're seeing or being revisited by the same vicious rabid dog cracker who is against our liberation, okay, and our upliftment collectively as a people, who are doing these things to get a response and a reaction out of our people, okay? What are you talking about, brother Sankofa? I'm going to give you some jewels. Go do your research, okay? There's no need to be ignorant nowadays with all the informational tools. For instance, a cell phone that you have where you can go to Google, okay? Go to Google and just look up the Global 2000 report. Go to Google and look at in more detail of what that consisted of. The RX-84 plan, which is a revision or a revising of the McCarran Act of 1956. What was the McCarran Act of 1956, and why am I going there? At the end of the string, you will find liberation, not a loose, where Brother Sankofa is going. The McCarran Act, or also known as the King Alfred Plan, in some literature, okay, in some literary works, was basically talking about a dynamic where people that are melanated here in America under this capitalistic regime that we have, that Brother Larry eloquently broke down so well earlier, how we were in a box, and we were in a box, the racial lies and scientific racism and theories that they use, or theological theories that they use to misuse us justifiably. They use those things for that time. Now the box has broadened. We're still in the box, but it's a bigger box. They let us out of that box into a bigger one, to the point where a lot of our people are completely lost. But they're all within that paradigm, people who know what time it is, and people who are standing up fighting for liberation, for rights, and for power. The Caucasian, with his social scientists and social engineers, did research and did statistical studies and come to the determination that there's going to come a time where Caucasians will have a 0% growth population, where all other melanated people who are already a majority on the planet right here in America, where they try to make their stronghold for world power, or their footprint, and try to use that through capitalism and economics and a most powerful standing army, okay, a footprint to conquer other people, there will be a conflict or a social internal threat to that, should the former slaves who are let outside of one box into a broader one and have positions of power on different levels, politically, academically, which can in turn cause a social, which can mess with the social order. I'm gonna just keep it simple. Which can mess with the social order of the time. So in doing so, they had to come up with measures and plans that would marginalize or stifle or offset or overturn the plans and the agendas of those blacks who had the best interest or self-preservation of their people in mind. Thus, the McCarran Act was born, which stated that whites or Caucasians, many of them who are Christian theologically and ideologically perspectives of the global white agenda perspective, that they would be deputized or funded by the government and given rights and arms to go out and kill, because they're fighting on behalf or alongside of the American government and fighting for their best interests. We're living in that time now. To give you an example of how that the McCarran Act wasn't just some myth or something that was written and that was outdated, so we should just written off. No, we shouldn't. We should consider that, because you have many different white militia groups out here. One of the more known ones, or the prolific ones that are out there, are known as the Blackwater. Have you ever heard of Blackwater Ops? What are they? They're mostly Christian, and they are militarized and deputized by the United States government. So like I was saying, the RX-84 plan, which was a revised version of the McCarran Act of 1955, okay, Ronald Wilson Reagan signed back into effect. This is the 80s, the infamous 80s, where they have suspended or eliminated a lot of the so-called civil rights that our people and organizations have fought for in the late 60s and 70s that we have finally gotten. Okay, where the Reaganomics eliminated a lot of that, stifled a lot of that, overturned it up, and purposely offset a lot of that, and in doing so he also signed in a RX-84 plan, which was to, by the year 2000 and beyond, have measures intact to cause riots in the inner cities where the undesirable elements of society in which we were labeled by them were dwelling at to be. For instance, you see all the police brutality, the murders. These are not isolated incidences, and these damn sure are not coincidences. Okay? These are definitely things that are staged and that are set and that are put into effect for a purpose because they want a certain outcome so they can enact certain policy because that is a part of their agenda and plan. These officers that you see out here carrying guns are not just doing, they don't have the authority, okay, or the position to dictate policy to just do what the hell they want to do and still keep a damn job. These people are trained and these people are coerced to do the things that they're doing. Even if they don't know in totality why, the outcome, the elite know why. And that is because to cause social injustice and that will lead to social unrest, that will lead to the enactment or the implementation of the RX-84 plan, which I'm talking about, but it would lead to it in much more detail as far as them implementing certain laws to suspend your rights, your civil liberties that they already really suspended, or what you think you, hold on, oh, that's right, or what you think you have, the rights that you think you have to go to the Cheesecake Factory and just eat and buy some Jordans. They're going to suspend things on another level, and this is not a spooky type teaching or something to spook you out of trying to give up hope on any future for us as a people. No, this is to make you aware of the world that you're living in, because modern day media, contemporary media, the arts, the press, the paper, the magazines, hip-hop, fashion is not promoting this and is not telling you this. People are impressionable. Our people are impressioned, as you can see by just looking around, and most people, all people, by what capitalism promotes and what capitalism gives them. So a lot of them are marginalized and in a box and have this illusion of freedom, or have this illusion of inclusion, and have this illusion of this is the end-all be-all, when they don't know that what you see is only blinders on your eyes for that which is yet to come to slaughter you like a lamb. Okay? Okay? So we want to try to bring these relevant issues and these and try to expose contradictions so that people out there, somebody in academia, somebody who wants to be an aspiring rapper, somebody out there who doesn't know what they want to be yet, who's just in middle school, that might see this video, that might consider some things that they did know and look at it on a broader level, or definitely consider some things that they didn't know and put it in perspective and look at things from a broader scope that they haven't been taught in church and in academia and in school. Okay? That's the reason why we're bringing these things to you. Our people need to wake up. The reason why I'm going in on the topic and the dynamic of the things that I'm talking about is because look at the things that are going on. These things, once again, are not isolated issues, isolated incidences. These are things that need to be spoken upon, need to be evaluated, need to be addressed, and then after we do that and study the anatomy of the problem and the social ills, we need to come up with sound solutions and antidotes that would heal the problem. Because the only purpose of knowing what's wrong is to try to get to how we're going to make what's right be effective. But if you don't know what's wrong or why it's wrong, chill out, bro. Bro, back up, please. 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 Yo, bro, please. Don't disrespect, man. All right. You know what I'm saying? Just edit that out, man. Pardon me. You know what I mean? Listen. All right? So the reason why I'm doing that is because it is out of a genuine love from the self-preservation of our people. A lot of our people would have heard this, and we can go deeper. We can talk about metaphysics. We can talk about ideology. We can talk about Kemet. We can talk about Buddha. We can talk about the Moors and the spiritual sciences and dynamics. We can talk about color meditation. We can talk about radiology. We can talk about why we should have a holistic diet. All these things are important, but if your ass doesn't exist because somebody has a plan to eliminate you, we need to address self-preservation first. Because all that other stuff will not be predicated upon anything if your ass don't exist because somebody has a plan to eliminate you. So you have to understand who, what, when, where, why, and how you can overcome these things. Okay? That is very important. Brother Sankofa, I don't think I have all the answers. In fact, I know I don't. However, I know that I have the genuine love and self-preservation intentions for my people at heart, and I'm willing to die for that. And anybody who knows me knows that, flaws and all. There's no denying that. Okay? So the reason why we're speaking on that because of the issues that are prevalent, this topic is relevant, okay? And we're gonna drive these points home to our people see the bigger picture. The same way a rapper would rap about the same goddamn ignorance and negativity and decadence and self-hatred, and you'll love it and go buy it or download it every time. Sankofa is gonna bring you this knowledge and talk about things that you might have thought your ass heard before, or mastered before, or already know, until you read, or not your ass, but somebody in the collective get the point among our people. That's what a revolutionary's job is, okay? That's what a person who's sincere to this teaching does, flaws and all, and puts their life on the line for that, okay? I'm ready to live and die for what I believe in, because I love my people and I see a better and brighter future down the line. So I'm not going to sit here and drop metaphysics even though I can. I'm not going to go into scriptures even though I can. I'm not going to go into metu neter even though I can. I'm going to call or blow the horn or sound the trumpet alongside with other those, and I'm not the only one doing it, many other people. Big up to the December 12th movement. Big up to brother Charles Barron out there, who's a politician, who's on the front line trying to mobilize and galvanize our people. Hey, big up to this brother right here. Even though we don't always click and see eye to eye, he drops knowledge. This brother's a very wise and sharp man. And even though he's out here and he does his thing, I always see him drop jewels and inspire people. So whatever front and whatever level you're doing it on, because we're out here dying and this battle is real, I'll respect you. Now, if you got theology and ideology with no damn antidote, and you ain't out there up close and personal with the people, and you've disengaged yourself for interacting with the people and talking about critical issues because you're waiting for a phenomenon to come out the sky to change the dynamic, then we don't need your services right now. We need soldiers that's on the ground that's ready to step up and approach these issues and put their life on the line if need be, because we're dying out here. And that's what real soldiers are going to do. So this is a war cry from a real warrior that represents this red, black, and green, that believes and understands and knows why Marcus Garvey had the philosophies and opinions that he did.
Yo.
And we're going to drive this home. So black power on that. Brother Malik, drop a jewel on.
Go ahead, brother Malik. What's on your mind, brother?
You know, my issue is the disunity that we have with the quote-unquote Latino and black people. Did a video about this before, and it's just that, you know, you still have people who, for whatever reason or the other, they do not accept the quote-unquote Latino people. And this is a huge mistake that they're making. And I firmly believe, and the thing is that I have love for these people. You may look at me and you can call me what you want, but the thing that I find ironic is you don't have nothing to say about what I say. The thing that you caught up on is my complexion and the fact of my ethnicity, that I'm Cuban. That's your concern. You know, don't allow people like this to come amongst us for whatever reason. Why? Why? That's my question, is why? My question to you is, do you really study? Do you really look at the history? We so RBG, we so nationalistic, you know, black power, and that's great, all for it. But you guys ain't studying nothing. Y'all ain't studied the works of none of these freedom fighters. None of them. So you're gonna have to do a little bit better than come at me on the basis of my skin complexion. Y'all gotta try a hell of a lot harder than that. You know, and the division, aside from ethnicities and nationalities and skin complexions, the division that we have when it comes to this religion thing. You know, some people are above religion. You know, some people don't need religion. Some people do need religion. And some people are going to be stuck in religion. But my question to all of y'all is, same thing that I asked before, Is this pudding? Is this food, clothing, and shelter? Unless you somebody in that religion that you're making money, you know what I mean, because you're a rabbi or a priest or an imam, whatever the case may be, or a pastor, you know, you making, okay, but we're talking about the people who are just blindly following these things, you know, and it's okay to be these things, you know. For me, it's okay. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But to think that you have the truth, that's the problem. Nobody has the truth. And it's okay to say I don't know. It's okay to say teach me. It's okay to say that I made a mistake. But nobody has the entire truth. If somebody had the truth, the world as we know would not be what it is. Because the truth, like he said, like the brother Sankofa said with the candle, in regards to the analogy of the candle in the room and how it illuminates and it brightens the room. If somebody had the truth, the world would not be in the state it is in. Because the truth would be shining forth and everybody like, well, that's the truth. That's, you know, we caught up on doctrines, name doctrines or name beliefs, but you know what? You can't prove them. You can't prove half of your beliefs. You can't prove half of your doctrines. That's what you choose to go by. Don't condemn other people because they're not going to go according to what you believe. The brother also hit on something else, self-preservation. What the hell is going on in the world today? I got better things to argue about. If Allah had a female goddess a lot, and if he's a sun god or a moon god, or if it's Jesus or if it's Yahweh or what, I got bigger things to worry about. There's bigger things at hand in society to sit there and gripe and argue about an old argument that, since we're so knowledgeable and since we know history so well, look at history. What has it done? What has it done is produce havoc and bloodshed. Israel, these Jews, these Zionist Jews who believe that they are rightfully inherited into the land of a people that they stole. And the pictures and the videos of the children that are being massacred and the women, the elderly that are being massacred and killed, all for what? For your dirty, stinking, filthy, gutter, rich slave maker of the poor religion. I have better things to be concerned about than what Abraham said and what Muhammad said and what Jesus did. I don't care, because it's not providing food, clothing, and shelter. It's not tangible. So, you know, I think that there's bigger issues to worry about. And what could those issues be? You know, I love Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. And you know, one thing he said was, you know, if you're gonna be whatever you're gonna be, make sure that you're a nationalist. Make sure that you have your identity, that you know where you come from.
Brother, it's no wonder that he's like this, because he's Cuban. And Cubans, people have a rich history.
Latinos in general, can I say something? It's my brother.
All right.
Malik is my brother. Cubans are my brother. The Boricuas are my brother. Okay, let me tell you something. That's not to leave out anybody else. I'm not going to name everybody, but you get the gist of where I'm going. Let's analyze history and our sojourn here in the hells of North America. You had Arturo Schomburg, right? Who the Schomburg Library, right on 135th Street in Harlem, is named after, was a Puerto Rican revolutionary activist. Where people, when the Harlem History Club started, people like Dr. John Henry Clark and many of the other greats Dr. Ben came up out of, they learned from a lot of the resources and great reservoir of information that he went around and collected on an ecumenical level and brought here. And they were students under him, not complete students under everything that he taught, but he laid one of the foundations right here to us reconnecting with who we are before we were in the diaspora. Okay? You have many revolutionaries, the Young Lords, the Brown Berets, You have many revolutionary political parties. You have Fidel Castro and Che Guevara in the 1950s when they overthrew Batista and set up a communist regime. When they fought against the United States, what I'm trying to say right this, a lot of brothers who are trapped on that, yes, not my people because he's Latino, the same spirit that's in them to fight against oppression because of the same rabid dog that bit them, bit us. We're brothers and united to fight against our common enemy. And any of you who don't believe that are not conscious, you are further from conscious, brother. Your eyes are wide shut, not wide open. If you don't have a perspective and a broader scope of understanding who and what we are and where we were and how we were colonialized and divided against each other, you are a really lynched Negro and you need to wake up.
You had asked me earlier when we were walking here. You had asked me earlier when we were walking. You said to me, you know, about Batista, right? See, this is what I love. I love when you have your science. So, and I'm not trying to sound arrogant, because I'm far from arrogant, and I don't know everything, and I know I'm not a scholar, and I don't even like to claim I have knowledge. I'm an informed individual in search of knowledge. But this is what kills me with you people, man. And when I say you people, because I know I'm going to hear this one, oh, you say you people, I'm talking about you ignorant, dumb, deaf and blind sheep. I don't give a fuck if you white, if you black, if you brown, if you yellow, if you're red, male or female, don't care. Batista made Cuba a whorehouse.
That's right.
The Italian and Jewish mafia all up in Cuba, exploiting the people of a rich history. Prostitution, alcohols, gambling. This was the place in the West where people weren't going to Vegas, they were going to the Caribbean, to the largest island in the Caribbean. They were going to Cuba, and they were doing their dirt over there, right? But we know Fidel Castro. We know he's so anti-black, right? Right. He's so anti-black. Yeah, he's an initiated priest of the Yoruba traditions, right? Okay. So that's
Assata Shakur got political asylum there, and many other revolutionaries under his regime.
And who? Real political refugees and real freedom fighters that are in Cuba that are being protected from this war that we live in America from going over there and capturing and snatching them up for $1 million or whatever the bounty is on Sister Assata Shakur's head. But Fidel Castro cleaned up Cuba, man. He cleaned up Cuba. You guys don't know what you're talking about. You really don't know what you're talking about. And it's so funny that today, something that's been running through my mind all day, and I've seen it 2 times today, is emotionalism. Emotionalism
supersedes intellect or knowledge.
Your emotion will be your hindrance. When you sit there and somebody says something, oh my God, you made this statement pertain to this, but you know what? What if it's true? So then what are you going to get mad about? The thing is that your emotionalism is your hindrance because you don't think with logical thinking, and when things are presented, it's okay to say I'm wrong. It's okay to say I made a mistake. It's okay to say I didn't know. But what do? We ride the I'm right horse. I'm so right. I know everything. No. Let me get all emotional. Let me bust blood vessels in my head and flip out and get all mad and call people names and everything else, but you have no basis for what you're saying, and you sound like a damn fool. You sound like a fool. So these people, I truthfully laugh at these people, and I have sympathy and empathy for them because of the fact that they are just emotional. I don't give a damn whether it's from the Muslims, no matter what sect. I don't care if it's from the Nuwapians. I don't care if it's from the Israelites. I don't care if it's from the Christian. I don't care if it's from traditional Afrocentric traditions. I don't care if it's Kemetic sciences. I don't care if you're dealing with political ideologies. I don't care. You cannot deal with emotional thinking because it is a hindrance, and you're going to have shutters. Your eyes are going to be shut, and you're going to be in a tunnel vision. Y'all do not study. The people who make these comments do not study. Y'all do not study the relationship of the quote-unquote Latinos with black people.
Two colonial names that divided us in the first place. Because if you look at the history, some of the first slaves that were bought from Puerto Rico, or brought to Puerto Rico, some of the first slaves that were brought there before they were brought to America, so what's called America now, the continental landmass upon which we're standing, that's called that. Many of them were brought there by the Portuguese to that, or they went there and conquered the Tayanos or the Boricua Indians. They went there and they conquered the Arawak. In fact, Tupac, one of my favorite rappers, Tupac Shakur, was respectfully named after Tupac Amaru. His name was even, the middle name was Amaru Shakur, which was in Mesoamerica and South America, who fought against the Portuguese, coming there trying to colonialize and enslave their people. These are what you would call so-called Latinos now, who have a history of being vanguard revolutionaries and fighting against the oppressor. Okay? But because we have been written out of any real respectable commentary in history, and because we've been given a doctrine perspective, a lot of times that was which meant to bring us out of the box of oppression, theological, academic oppression, has put us into from one box to another. So we still don't see the bigger picture. Now, the whole point of getting knowledge is to broaden your scope. The whole point of broadening your scope is to give you purpose and premise upon which to stand and grow. The whole purpose of doing that is to fight against that which may destroy you, okay, and to in turn lead to self-preservation. Without having an understanding of your real roots, and we have roots, that's why it's spelled with a T, not root. We don't have a root, we have roots with an S, because we have many backgrounds. And we have the term Africa, okay? Yeah, I know Afro-Waka, okay? And I know about the liar in 212 AD of the thief in the Punic Wars, where the northern region of that land was named Africa after Leo Scipio's Africanus, okay? Now we understand that these colonial terms even more, I'm not going to call that a colonial term, but I'm not going to call it an organic term either. Because that is a term that people outside of us labeled us from their language and dialect. More, as in Moreno in Spanish, okay? Or Tamore in Egypt. The word more is in there, okay? Not understanding the roots that we have, the understanding the original terms that we called ourselves, but not understanding the different cultures with an S, not culture, because we were never under one paradigm, one civilization, one language, one tribal concept of anything. You gotta, and when you broaden your scope and you understand that, and you understand history from a broader scope, not from a scope of popular history or exotic rhetoric type history that has this kind of feel-good sensationalism that you have once you entrench your mind into these things, but you understand critical history, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're going to understand and know who the Boricua Taino Indians are and their connection to the so-called Africans.
Let me hit them with this. John Brown. Who's John Brown? Who's John Brown? John Brown was that white man back in the day who was sick of slavery. He was sick of white supremacy. And what did John Brown do? John Brown went out and killed some white people. See, you have to realize, man, and people need to realize this, that the devil exists in any ethnicity, exists with any complexion of a people. Now, does that mean...
Yeah, but nobody has the devil like the damn white man.
That's what I was about to say. Nobody touches, when it comes to devilishment, nobody touches the devilishment, the devilish acts that the European, the Caucasian has done on this planet Earth. And nobody's not taking that from, because nobody can top that. Nobody can top a group that snatched up some Africans and put them on some ships and stole their entire identity, the name, the language, their religion, their culture, their God, separated the families, which therefore now goes back to the whole, the Latino, the Indian, and the black people being one. Because when they were brought, the Africans were brought into Central, South America, the Caribbean, and North America, who in the hell was the indigenous people on the land? And who did they mix in with? And who did they work with? And who was the oppressor?
But back to John Brown, Brother Malik, because you're not white, but as a white person that John Brown was, Brother Sankofa, do you think he has some self-interest?
Of course he did. Of course.
Killing, elaborate a little bit on that.
But he did it though.
He did it. And there were other whites who were revolutionary. And I'm going somewhere with the point, because I'm not going to give my goddamn collective enemy any credit, even if he does deserve it, because we're at war. Okay? So yeah, you had the weathermen later on down the line of history besides John Brown.
Inspired by the Black Panthers.
Okay, inspired. You even had the group called the White Panthers.
Yep.
You had people that was a part of the Rainbow Coalition before Jesse Jackson started that movement. That was an intercommunal revolutionary organization, and there were whites in there who stood on the front line. There were Caucasians who even helped Assata Shakur get out of prison and get down to
And you know what?
But
why do you think that is though?
You know what?
Could it be that revolution is something that is
I think the white man
in
is,
all of us?
I think the white man is such a low-down dog and devil that some of his own people on the lower echelon are sick of him. They're tired of him, and the goddamn devil hates the devil who is in power because of the things that they've done to other people on the planet. But I don't trust their intentions, and I don't trust them because look at the Ocean Hill-Brownsville case, where you had the Caucasians, the Jews sat, fought with black people arm in arm, hand to hand, and they only used that as cannon power to fight for their own self-interest. The so-called liberals of the 1960s and 50s who showed and appeared outwardly to have good intentions showed that they only used our cause of oppression and things like that for cannon power for their own movements, and when they got what they wanted, they abandoned our causes.
Let me ask this.
Okay, hold on, let me just finish. So what I'm saying is the white man, even fighting on our side collectively, does not have a good rapport and any kind of consistent continuity that we should respect them upon, because they've always shown that they will turn on us or abandon us or stifle anything that they appear to stand for us on noble causes for from the beginning. They have done this, and that's not to say that there's not no Caucasians out there who might be real, but goddamn it, there's too many devils out there amongst them who are evil. Like Malcolm X said, when a snake bites your child, you don't go out there and look for the snake with blood on his jaw. Any old snake will do. Okay? If there's a bucket full of some garden snakes and some vipers that are more vicious and more deadly, you're not gonna reach in there and try to grab the garden snake. You throw the goddamn whole bucket away. It's too contaminated. And that's how I look at the white people and collectively. And if you want to be a real white person that's real and stand up, and that's not saying that there's none out there, but if you want to do that, stand on the front line. Show your goddamn face. Even kill some crackers if it means that. Okay? Because you just standing and saying you like hip hop or you like our women, god damn it, ain't good enough for some real revolutionaries out there. Big up to the new Black Panther Party too. Go ahead and drop it.
You know, this I've realized too that a lot of people, and something I have in common with the brother here, is a lot of people hate me and this brother or dislike me and this brother because they say, well, what is your foundation? What do you stand on? It's called truth, right? Now, does Malik have a religion or a spiritual system? Yes, I'm an initiate in Santeria. So that's my spiritual basis. That's what I deal with spiritually. That's what it is. Do I go out and try to convert people and stand on the corners and scream and hand out pamphlets and newspapers and all that? No, because that's not how it works. Spirituality is different than religion. Spirituality is something that awakens within the self, like Buddha. You know, Buddha, enlightenment. You know, that's what it is. Now, I'm not comparing myself to Buddha or being enlightened, but that's the gist of what that is. Now, as far as what I deal with politically, I'm a socialist. I'm a nationalist. That's why I believe in black and brown power, and I believe in RBG. That's what it's about. So I'm not trapped in a box. And I know the brother from before has said to me, you know, you may not be trapped in a box, but other people may still be in that box. Yeah, I'll work with them. You know what I mean? You're supposed to help your people. But Malik is not trapped in a box. Malik is not, yeah, I'm initiating it, but you know what that means? I will study anything under the sun. Anything under the sun, because I'm allowed to. And can't nobody tell me I can't. If you got a problem with that, yo, you got a problem with yourself. That's what it is.
I will show that crack over there with the gun.
What is that?
Death to white supremacy. I want to add on to what the brother said. We got into a dialogue because this is what the spirit drove us to talk about. It's Black August. I want to share the shout out to all the ancestors out there. You know, all the brothers who are alive and that are not ancestors yet, who are on the front lines fighting. I want to send a big shout out to the House of Consciousness, Baba TV. I want to send a shout out to the Hebrew Israelites who are on the front line praying and pleading for the Most High that they believe in for the downfall of this corrupt jurisprudence and system of white supremacy. I want to send a shout out to all the people who are standing on the front line who have a legitimate, genuine concern for the embetterment, improvement, salvation, and self-preservation of our people. Because in these trying times where we're dying and we know that the plans that the enemy has already had an effect are right blatantly in your face, but we're so blinded by materialism and a false concept of inclusion that a lot of us don't even see. I want to stand up and I want to shout out the brothers who are standing up for whatever genre of teaching that they come with to do that. I don't have to agree with you on everything, but I agree with you and love you more for you standing up. And what we do is not easy. Our people are lost. We're looking for reasons to disagree, man. We're looking for reasons to turn our back on something that's going to help us benefit long term. We're looking for reasons to stay asleep. So for us to stand up, no matter what school of knowledge that you come out of, right here in the hells of North America or anywhere you're at, for you to stand up on the front line for a noble cause, the premise to condemn that which is wrong in the face of our people and has been wrong and blatantly in our face, and more so now than ever, I have much respect for you. We'll sort out the differences that we have ideologically at another time, but we better come together, because the cracker don't give a damn if you're a Hebrew Israelite. He don't give a damn if you're a Moor. He don't give a damn. Yo, don't disrespect cracker. He don't give a damn. Get that on tape too. He don't give a damn what you are. You know what I'm saying? All he cares about is his own self-preservation and your demise and his rise. Stem cell research, the Global 2000 report, God damn it, the new message, or not the new, but which been promoted as the prevalent message in hip-hop and our culture, which is destroying us mentally to keep us destroying each other, okay, is all by design. Anybody who is standing up to fight against that and standing up for the noble, righteous cause of self-preservation, I love you, I respect you, and let's unify on common grounds, because we all got a common enemy. Death to white supremacy, and even in black face especially. Black power and brown power.